The main topic for discussion today is going to be account access management. Access control is more sort of who can perform what kind of operations on your object. And Snowflake ideally has two types of access control frameworks. One is a role-based access control, and second is a discretionary access control. Let's try to understand both of them in detail. The first one that we are going to see is role-based access control, or you can also call it as RBAC. Now, what exactly is RBAC? I'll demonstrate it using this particular diagram. Let's say you have this privilege here. Assign this privilege to a particular role, and then this role is granted to a user. This privilege can be anything. It can be a select privilege to do a select star on table. It can be to modify a table. It can be to create a resource monitor, create a task, everything. So the main criteria is privileges are not directly assigned to the user. Instead, they are assigned to a specific role, and users are created or users are assigned to that particular role itself. Please remember this main golden line that in Snowflake, the privileges are always assigned to a role and not to a user directly. It is assigned to a user indirectly via a role. This is RBAC, that is role-based access control. You grant certain privileges to a role, and that role dictates what they can do with the object. And the second one, along the same lines, is discretionary access control, or DAC. Now, what exactly is this? Let's say this is a Snowflake object, and this is a role. This role has created this Snowflake object. So since this role has created the Snowflake object, it owns the Snowflake object, this role. Now Snowflake combines RBAC along with DAC, and both of these frameworks are working in unison inside of Snowflake. What exactly is the significance of DAC? In DAC, whichever role has created a Snowflake object by default is the owner of that particular object, and every object needs to have a specific owner that can be any role. What is the main advantage of this particular method? Any sort of privilege that is associated with a particular object, the owner has full rights to it. That is, it has full access to all the privileges for a specific Snowflake object.